Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it's time for a dynamic effort upper day. But a quick reminder for those of you who watch these videos, please remember to click like down below, it'd be greatly appreciated. Alright, over to the training. I'm working a little more on the speed work on controlling the eccentrics and just exploding on the concentric. You know what, I can't even talk today. I can't talk today, I just give up. I should just turn this recording off and just let you guys watch it. I meant to say controlling the eccentrics, exploding on the concentric, trying to get that 1 meter per second. I think I ran the chains, now that I'm seeing the footage now, I probably ran the chains a little too high because they're coming off the ground. Because I had set them based off where they were in the monolift, but that's okay. So we did 5x5, and obviously I do very, very lightweight on the speed work these days. I've made videos explaining why. You guys know why. It's all about recovery and still getting the benefits. And it gives me more recovery to work on other training volume on other stuff. So again, 5x5 is kind of what I'm doing at the moment with very, very light bar weight and a lot of band and a lot of chain for all my speed work. So, and again, I'm showing you guys a little bit of the setup there so that people can see how I set up. That yeah, I actually do use a pretty big arch, just that I have long arms, so people don't always realize that. But speed bench went good. So the rest of the day, everything was about pump work, hitting my weak points, actually hitting everything. You know, it wasn't just about weak point training for my benching today. It was a maximum hypertrophy day for the entire upper body. And between the 5 exercises I did in the volume, you won't find a single muscle in the upper body that didn't get at least 5 full effective sets, right? Or more, should technically be more. Really, none got less than 7. And when we're training twice a week, we're in our optimal range. And some of the muscles got, 20 sets or 10 sets, which will be 20 for the week if we were to double it. So what did we do today? 5x10 dumbbell press. Now I haven't done these in just a little while. And I put all this money, bought a lot of money worth of dumbbells and all these plates to do them. I haven't done them in a bit. So I started a hair lighter than what I did my last 10 rep set with, but not a lot lighter. And I got 5x10. Now my first couple sets I really struggled with the setup, having to remember how to get set up correctly. Because guys, it's one thing when you're using 50-pound dumbbells or you start getting to 90s or more, 100s, all that. Getting set up's a little bit harder. But I got my position after this set. This set I still felt off. And what I mean by off, I'm not flat on the bench. In other words, one side of my body is like 4 inches off the edge of the bench. I'm not centered. And I figured out a lot of it is about when I go to set it down, touching the dumbbells together at the top, right? Forming a little triangle, because I form a triangle anyways, and then laying back. And that makes it a lot easier. Now, some people have said, why do you drop them instead of trying to get them back on your lap? If they were flat bottom dumbbells, I'd just take them back to my lap. But with those handles, it's an injury waiting to happen. It's just not workable, with the ends. So it's fine. That's why I have the Eva foam pads down there to drop them on. That way I'm not dropping directly on my platform and messing up the rubber and everything. So it works out fine. But we got 5 sets of 10. And these were hard. These were fatiguing. And I was going to do more dips today, but I noticed like my biceps and elbows were hurting quite a bit today when I got to the pull-ups. And it had to do with all the dead hangs I've been doing. I did 3 sets of dead hangs yesterday. Yeah, I did 3 sets of dead hangs yesterday working on grip and everything with 110 pounds. So a pair of 55-pound plates. And I've got to limit the amount of those I do. They're phenomenal. They seem to really help my shoulders. They're amazing for grip training, but I have to be very careful because it pulls on tendons and stuff. So I do need to be aware of that, because one of the things I'm doing now, you guys notice I'm bringing the volume up on the supplemental lifts, and I'm sticking to pretty much all big movements. Because if I get enough volume, all the small muscles get worked anyways. And I find that the bigger multi-joint exercises give me better strength carryover. Like I've noticed things like dips or JM presses give me bench strength, but extensions don't. I don't get anything. That doesn't even correct tricep weakness for me. And this is an observation of myself over time. And there's some data to suggest why that happens too. But I've been trimming my GPP down. I've built a huge amount of conditioning up for a while. For months, I was dragging my sled 7 days a week. All right, I've been trimming the GPP down. I'm trimming the mini workouts down because I've built a lot of work capacity, and I want to use that in the main workouts. And I think, like my off days, I want to just do reverse hypers, ab work, grip training, a little bit of neck work, and just walks, right? Just walk. Walk with a backpack. So pull-ups today, I thought about it and I realized really I probably get the best, in some ways effective range of motion with this medium grip. I really like the closed grip. I can rotate them back and forth. But I'm like, I want to get 5 sets of 10, so let me see if I can do it with the medium grip. And the last 2 sets I only got like 9. So I got 3 by 10 and then got those. So the issue we run into is that even with a lightweight, 5 by 10 adds up. And that's the thing, if I'm going to do a lot of this volume, it is going to be hard to progress, but it doesn't matter. Why? Because our progression is going to come off of the bigger movements, right? You guys will notice that what's going on with my big movements now that I'm messing with what you saw for max effort work this week. I'm going to run them in a 5-3-1 rotation, my max effort work. And I'm going to go back to high specificity, right? We're going to do the classic barbell lifts, which I don't normally do. Why? Because it's going to be specific to powerlifting, and it's still conjugate. Because I'm doing a heavy peak set that is max effort as we go. But because I'm changing the rep ranges, I will get a lot of the benefits of not getting overuse. And then we can do all the supplemental work to work around overuse. We can rotate supplemental exercises continually. But you guys saw the specificity too with the speed bench today. That was my competition grip and setup that I'll be using, right? And I can rotate bands and chains to rotate the training stimulus. So we can still rotate these things. And also I'm looking at which exercises give me the most bang for my buck, but also have lower chance of overuse. Things like dumbbells accrue overuse slower. Dips in theory can be really bad on overuse, but if I'm using the V-grip bars, it's going to be a slightly different grip every time. And again, dips, when I look at historically, even going back to my 20s, when I did have over a 400 bench before, by the way, I did a lot of dips. Dips seem to work well for my triceps. It's just keeping my shoulder health on point with them, which I've got my shoulder health on point, and I think as long as I do them in waves, and then if I need to rotate them with closed grip benching in this slot, I think I'll be fine. That's what's going to build my triceps up. Because I'm doing all this other pressing. We're doing a lot of pressing, and then we need, a specific press every week for triceps. Well, dips fit the bill. Closed grip bench is a close second. So I can rotate dips in waves, right? And as long as I can continue to do dips, my triceps will grow. And the beauty of if I'm going to do, again, sets of 10, it's not going to beat me up as quick. Now, I only did 3 sets of these today, though, because like I said, my elbows weren't feeling the best, and it was due, and I could tell from the last couple sets of dead hangs that's what was causing it, and it'll heal in a couple days. I just won't do any dead hangs for a few days, right? And I've done enough of those this week. I'm probably fine all the way into my deadlift day, and then I can do some after deadlifting. If I want more grip work, I can just do pinch blocks. So I did just 3 by 10 on those. Everything else was 5 by 10. All right, so why did I go with this really high angle instead of the seal rows? Because I love seal rows. Man, in terms of stimulus, I love seal rows. But because I'm doing pull-ups, those neutral grip pull-ups, I really want the upper back. And I'm going to quit doing all my upper back work, all my base pulls and stuff with bands every day, so that I can focus on hitting it with real weight. And this will let me do that, get it all in my main workouts. There's 5 sets of pull-ups and 5 sets of these at this higher angle. This handles all my shoulder development that the overhead press doesn't get, right? The whole upper back, rear delts, side delts. And anyone who wants to deny that has completely failed to look at the research. If you don't realize that certain types of rows hit the side delts as a full set, you're not looking at the data. And a high angle like this does. But again, rear delt, the entire trap, top to bottom. So again, it's still working a lat. Lats are still getting worked here. Not quite as hard as on the pull-ups, but the upper back is. And they're both hitting all of it. So this creates a really, really good combination that, again, puts no stress on the low back, right? Only thing that's stressing my low back today is a standing press. And we're doing 2 traction exercises. And you guys are going to notice that. I'm going to do a lot of traction type work. And then we do reverse hypers every day. And I do really high reps now on those controlled. So, again, the combination here, the entire middle and upper back, biceps, grip, everything got trained really hard between these two exercises. And then we finished off with some overhead pressing. Again, you guys notice I'm using a false grip, and I'm just pushing it as far as I can. And I'm not worried about strictness. I'm not worried about anyone else's ideas of range of motion. I don't care. It's not a competition lift. There's no standard. Because even if you look at the standard in something like strength lifting, they allow you to cheat your ass off. They can call it a strict press all they want, but they allow you to push your hips and all that stuff. That's not a strict press either. So I don't care. On some of these, I'll start using a little leg drive if I need to. The main thing is shoulder health and getting the development I want from it. Which again, shoulder girdle, upper back, triceps, right? And building up those front delts, which my bench needs. And I'll start maxing on this later too again. That's fine. I'm actually cool with that, but I need a base build on it. So I managed to get the 5x10 today with 120. So we started with 115 and did 3x10 last time, put 5 pounds on. Short-term goal, I want to get to 5 sets of 10 with a full plate on this again, and then build it up from there. All right, build it back up from there. And actually, eventually, I'll work it into my max rotation the same way I do bench, and I'll probably do it off the back end of the bench. I'm not ready for that yet. I've got some base building to do. But again, if you look at these exercises, everything got thoroughly worked. And all my weak points on the benching got worked. Right? Everything got hit, and with a heavy focus on triceps. Triceps got hit super hard today because of the dips thrown in with all the other pressing. And I was feeling my triceps on the speed bench and the dumbbells actually. So I think I've got a good little set of exercises for today in the rotation. I may keep it this way for DE days and change it slightly on max effort, or I might just run it all the same and worry about the specificity off the benching itself. And then rotate it when anything starts to get inflamed. But overall, I'm very, very happy with today's workout. Got a lot of work done, so I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.